Hi, my speech today is over Gene Sharp. A nonviolent action is a more peaceful answer than war, right? That is what Gene Sharp has been helping with to so many different countries' struggles. Many countries have read his books and implemented his words to resolve their struggles in a nonviolent way, giving their followers a different option to choose besides a violence-based movement. Sharp's theory is based on his knowledge and experience throughout his lifetime. He has received a Doctor of Philosophy in Political Science, has been a professor of political science, and founded the Albert Einstein Institution, all of which have played a huge role in his beliefs in nonviolent teaching. He believes the power derives from the subject's obedience to the orders of a ruler. So basically, he says that if the subjects don't listen and follow, then the leaders have no power. His initial interest in the field of nonviolence was sparked by the end of the Second World War. He was trying to figure out how all this alternative could be in the real world. Sharp's ideas for nonviolent actions are based on his writings of his books, his teachings in the field with many awards, and many interviews of his thoughts. Gene Sharp's books have conveyed his ideas for a nonviolent action instead of violence being the key factor to gaining power. His early books helped to resolve violence from small countries that have used his writings almost like a Bible to find their way that was nonviolent. Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania got out of the Soviet Union using nonviolence, and won rather quickly with only about 19 casualties after they had tried guerrilla warfare in which they had many casualties and did not succeed. Other countries who have followed the same type of resistance are Poland, Czechoslovakia, East Germany, Serbia from Mislovec, and the Ukraine. He has many quotes from his books From Dictator to Democracy, and they include some of the following. The fall of one regime does not bring in a utopia. Rather, it opens the way for hard work and long efforts to build more than just social, economic, and political relationships, and the eradication of other forms of injustices and oppression. Another one is some foreign states will act against a dictatorship only to gain their own economic, political, or military control over the country. The foreign states became actively involved for positive purposes only if and when the internal resistance movement has already begun shaking the dictatorship, have thereby focused international attention on the brutal nature of the regime. Dictators are not in the business of allowing elections that could remove them from their thrones. By placing confidence in violent means, one has chosen the very type of struggle which the oppressors nearly always have superiority. The degree of liberty or tyranny in any government is, it follows, in large degree a reflection of the relative determination of the subjects to be free and their willingness and ability to resist efforts to enslave them. Another one is dictatorships usually exist primarily because of the internal power distribution in the home country. The population and society are too weak to cause the dictatorship serious problems. Wealth and power are concentrated in too few hands. Although dictatorships may benefit from or be somewhat weakened by international actions, their continuation is dependent primarily on internal factors. One other quote is, "Whatever promises offered by dictators in any negotiated settlement, no one should ever forget that the dictators may promise anything to secure submission from their democratic opponents, and then brazenly violate those same agreements." Further, democratic negotiators or foreign negotiation specialists accepted to assist in the negotiations may, in a single stroke, provide the dictator with the domestic and international legitimacy that they had been previously denied because of their seizure of the state. Human rights and violations and brutalities. Without that desperately needed legitimacy, the dictators cannot continue to rule indefinitely. Those are just some of the quotes from his book, From Dictatorship to Democracy. Sharp has been teaching for many years and has received many awards. He's been teaching at several institutions, such as the University of Massachusetts, Dartmouth. He has been a professor of political science since 1972. Another is at Harvard University's Center for International Affairs since 1965, holding research appointments there. And in 1983, he founded the Albert Einstein Institution, which is a nonprofit organization that is devoted to a nonviolent action in conflicts and studies and promotions of these ideas. Gene Sharp has received several awards for his efforts in nonviolent struggle. He has been nominated 3 times for the Nobel Peace Prize in 2009, 2012, and 2013. In 2011, he received the Eli Hybry Peace Education Prize Award, and in 2012, he was the recipient of the Right Livelihood Awards as well as Distinguished Lifetime Democracy Award. Sharp has been interviewed and has spoken to many influential people. Gene Sharp practices what he preaches, so numerous interviews he stays true to his beliefs in nonviolent resistant actions. He has been asked for his advice on tactics to go forth on a nonviolent movement. He was jailed for 9 months after protesting the conscription of the soldiers for the Korean War in 1953 to 1954, which sparked his interest for the nonviolence. All in all, Gene Sharp's books, his interviews, and his teachings have hit mainstream and influenced many people to follow his beliefs of a nonviolent action. He has made it his life work to spread his beliefs of nonviolent resistant actions, which influence greatly on today's society.